so what we're learning about today are smart plans, and smart plans are just basically your follow-up or your nurturing. You're going to nurture your people, your contacts. You can also have home anniversary. Let me just mute a few people here. So yeah, so what we have in here, you're going to log on to your agent.kw.com, and you'll wind up on your home page, of course. And it's moving really slow today. I hope this doesn't last like this. There we go. All right, come on now.
Okay.
No.
Renee, while that's loading, you want to tell us just a little bit about what smart plans are, the idea behind them?
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, the smart plans are basically to have you keep in touch with your contacts, your customers, and to, you can share neighborhood information with them. You can share your app with them. You can also, and it's kind of a way to kind of put them on a drip plan like we used to have with the old way. So, gosh.
Right. So if people are familiar with the MREA book, you've got like the 33 touch or 36 touch, the 8x8, the 12x12. So those different types of campaigns they've built for us, and then you can customize them. And then they've built other campaigns for us, like for people's home anniversaries, their birthdays, things of that nature. Or you can build your own customized plans for sending out information, or to keep people up to date, or to touch them in a different way than the plans are set up. And a touch in these plans can be a phone call, so it's a reminder or a task to make a phone call. It can be an email where it automatically sends out an email, or it can be a text where it'll automatically send out a text if you have Twilio set up. So there's a variety of options there. You can even link smart plans. So for instance, let's say you get a new buyer lead and you want to put them on the traditional 8x8 touch plan. Well, the 8x8 will last for 8 weeks, and hopefully in that time you've made contact with them and you're working with them. But maybe after that you want to put them on the quarterly call plan, for example, or a monthly neighborhood nurture plan. So you can actually set it up that as soon as one plan ends, the next one starts.
Yep, exactly. Thank you, Drew. And you can also set it up so it has several different steps of email, call, text, all three of those, and any different amount of mixtures of those. So when you first log on to Smart Plans, it's from the home screen, it's way down over there on the left-hand side. You're going to wind up on My Smart Plans. If you've never been here before, this might be empty. So what you need to do first is go over to the library, which is right next to the heading My Smart Plans. You're going to click on Library, and that's going to load up all the ones that are pre-built for us by Keller Williams. There we go. All right. So if you don't have any over there, this is how this works. You need to, here we go. So let's say I want to add a long-term nurture plan over to my plan. All you do is you can view the steps right here by clicking on the steps. And you can see add to smart plan. There's a delay of 10 days, phone call, another delay, touch task. Now these phone calls that or a touch task, that comes up on your homepage as a task for you to do. It doesn't automatically call them, obviously. And then the send a text here. If you don't have Twilio, that's fine. You'll just get another notification for another task to do. And I believe it'll give these examples for you as well, which is quite helpful. Of course, if you do have Twilio set up, it'll do it automatically for you. And then it just goes on a repeat and repeats 5 times. So let's say I like this. Let me go ahead and add this to my smart plans. So you would just click the add, plan name, and it has to be unique. I think I have this already, so it might not go. And then you just click apply. Okay, so I already have that plan. So let's say I want to put it in there again, I could rename it. And apply. And now it should just go through, and then it would be added onto my smart plan. All right. So I'm just going to go back over here to my smart plans. Get my list. I think one of my favorite smart plans that we have available to us is called the monthly neighborhood nurture. When you add a contact into your contacts and you have their home address, it'll automatically come up with what neighborhood that they're in, or if it doesn't, then you can look it up very easily and add it. So then if you put them then on the monthly neighborhood nurture plan, it sends out, see what it sends out. You can click on the little arrow here. And it sends out an email. So here we go, an automated or a manual email. It delays for 30 days and then it repeats unlimited times. So that's your monthly neighborhood nurture. And what that's based on, it picks that neighborhood that you set up for them, or that is where their home address is, and it just sends the information on that neighborhood every month. Well, if you've got, go ahead.
It shows basically neighborhood stats. It'll show how many homes are on the market in their neighborhood, average list price, average sale price, days on market. So it's really good information for, like say past clients to keep track of a neighborhood, or if you're working with a buyer, then you may want to set this up if they have specific neighborhoods they're targeting that they like to purchase in. Actually for some of my clients that own multiple properties, like let's say they have a second home or vacation home here in our area, but they live in another state, you can actually set it up where you can add multiple, I think you can add up to about 10 neighborhoods through this plan. And so then when they get the email each month, they can click through and go, okay, what are the market stats for my property down in Florida? And then what are the stats for my neighborhood for my property, say up in Michigan? And then right below the monthly neighborhood plan is a biweekly one. So it's the same exact thing, but it just goes out every 2 weeks instead of once a month. So whenever I have an active listing, I always put them on the biweekly so that my sellers have a good idea of what's going on in the market in their neighborhood, so that it's a much easier conversation when I call them up and say, hey, I think maybe we should do a price improvement on your property, because as you can see, other homes are selling quicker and maybe a lower price. And so this is a good way to keep them up to date on what's going on in their neighborhood.
great. That's an excellent way to use the biweekly neighborhood. So one of the newer ones that we have is the 8x8, and then promote my app. So let's go ahead and set one up. So as I was starting to say, the monthly neighborhood nurture, if you want to put your past customers on there, you don't just want to send out this email and expect that they're going to be like, what is this? Where's this coming from? Because it doesn't say your, well, it does say your name, but it's further down. It's not as, doesn't say that it's coming actually from you. So it might get kicked out, or they might not see it. So I just was watching Nick Baldwin, and I got this little Google page here that shows exactly how to set this up. So I'm going to move here. There we go. I'm going to come over here to the right-hand side of my screen and just push the create button. We're just going to make a brand new smart plan. All right, this plan name, I want to name this intro. This is just for you, so you know what it is. Intro to the neighborhood nurture. Neighborhood. What did I do? There we go. Okay. And then just apply. And this one I think is just going to have, let's see, 5 steps to it. So like I was saying, this is good to kind of introduce the neighborhood nurture to your past customers and clients, and maybe even new people, so if they don't know exactly what it is you're doing. I know I've had some of my people call or text me and say, who is this? Or did this really come from you? So I saw this intro smart plan, and I thought it was just perfect. We can get this working. I'm even plugged in, guys, so I don't know why this is being all crazy on us today. So, so like I said, this one is going to be 5 steps. We're going to start out by creating it, which is what we're trying to do right now. We're going to do a quick email, and I'll show you all the how to edit the smart plans and how to like create. And we can use contact names so that it pulls from the from your contacts, instead of, you know, it wouldn't be very good having to type in everybody's name every time something went out. And then we're going to delay it, and then we're going to add it to the smart plan neighborhood nurture, and then we're going to delay another day, and then send out just a quick text, just asking them, hey, did you get that email I sent? And also in the email, we're going to include a link to our app. Okay, if we get there. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, well, I'm waiting for that to load up. I see we have some questions, so maybe I can find those. There we go. And they're not coming up for me, guys. Well, okay. Okay, so Lisa's asking, could you print out the monthly neighborhood stats and snail mail them? And Drew answered, thank you, Drew. In designs, you can actually do that, print the letter with the neighborhood stats. And Cheryl asked, is our app the same as before, or did it change? It actually did change. There was a big update around family reunion time, I believe. And it's really robust. There's some little wrinkles in it that they're working out, as with everything tech. So I know I have a few people using it pretty well. I'm also going to just kind of show you, because it's a really long one that I learned about earlier this week. And this was also using Nick Baldwin's page, his YouTube channel. And this had to do with setting up a pretty involved smart plan for your Facebook lead ads. So, oh my goodness. Well, all right. I just see we have another question. We download in the App Store. Oh, okay, so about our app, our updated one. The app is just for the consumer. So if you're expecting to open up an app and have it work for you as an agent, it doesn't work the same. So it would be good for you to go ahead and find it. Yes, you can find it in the App Store, and then you can download it, and then make sure that you go in and pick yourself as your agent. So then that way, when you share it to other people, it'll be pre-branded already. And I'm not really sure if that's working seamlessly yet. It seems like half of my people who get it from me, it's branded already, and then the other half it's not. So I just asked them to go on there and find me as their agent. So it should be. Sometimes, it's good to make sure just to tell your customers, make sure you look for your agent and choose me. So, all right, so here we go. We finally got our steps here. All right, I'm just going to. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we already did the create. We renamed it Intro to the Neighborhood Nurture. We're going to, the first step is going to be an email. So we're going to come over here to the right and just click send email. You don't have to click and drag, you just click it and it'll pop up there. There it is. All right, so, and I actually, I downloaded Nick Baldwin's cheat sheet. So I'm just going to switch over there for one quick second. And it should come up for me. Here we go. So, day one. All right, well, I just needed the subject for the email. The email has to have subject, and it's intro to, or no, info about your neighborhood. Info about, or whatever else you want to put in there, of course. Come on, Barry. Intro info. Let's get rid of that. All right. Come on. The emails we're doing is a simple. The HTML, if you were to, I'm not going to try to bring that up because it will just slow it down again. But I have looked at that, and it brings up different like pictures and stuff that you can send instead of the HT or the simple email. So the email body goes down here, obviously. I'm going to go back over here to my little cheat sheet. And I'm just going to wait till it shows up. Copy and paste. So, well, anyway, we could just type in hi and then comma. Okay. I can remember what they called us. So there's a little drop down here where you can add in, and I'll just click on that and wait for it to come up. You can add in your custom, there we go, the contact's first name, their last name, their email address, their phone, their birthday, or their home anniversary. So you can make any one of those things part of your email. For this, we don't want to really use anything except their first name. So I just clicked on contact first name. You see it shows up there as a field. And then let me see if I got my, all right. So, yeah, there we go. It's going to show up for me. Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys. I wish this was working out a little bit better. This internet very choppy here. No. So you could, come down here and just start to type in. Let's see. People wonder how they're specific. And that's not coming. Oh my goodness. Oh, you might have to do this one again. Let's see. Whoa, okay. So on some of these other ones, I have been putting in links. So I'll do a search on my website and then add those links in. And that's fine for an email, just to do a quick search on, let's say, property type. And I just switched over to my website webpage. I'm going to do houses, let's say. We went over this a little bit in the last class. Oh boy. Yeah.
Hey, Renee, if you're having computer issues, I could, step in and try to take over and see if it works better on my side of things here. So.
Okay. Can you get the screen and let me share it with you? All right.
All right. Can you guys see my screen now?
Oop, there you go. Yep.
Hopefully it'll go a little bit quicker. So it looked like you were in the middle of kind of creating a specialized smart plan. So it's pretty simple. You just create it, name it. I was going to do a follow-up plan for buyers that I have in my pipeline. So I'll just type the name of the smart plan, hit apply, and then basically, like Renee was showing you, you can add different types of tasks or whatever. So maybe the first task that I want to do is make a phone call to them. So I'll drag that over as a new action to make a phone call. Let's see here. Maybe I'm having the same issues.
Yeah, I don't think you have to drag it to it. You just click on it.
Okay. All right. So day one is make the task name is just call, task description, call to check in, for example. And we'll do this today. So then what I'll do is there's obviously needs to be a delay. I'm not going to call them and text or email right after. So I'm going to set a delay afterwards. And let's say I'm going to wait 7 days. And just as a point here on delays, the most you can do a delay is 30 days. So, you know, the quarterly call plan is obviously a 90-day delay, but unfortunately right now, when you build a custom smart plan or edit a smart plan, the most you can do is a 7-day delay. So let's say I call to check in, and then 7 days later, I'm going to send a text. All right, so I'm going to click on that, and it's from your Twilio account. Obviously, you have to have Twilio set up, and then they have the options on texting. It's either static or dynamic. Static is just a single text. So not recommended if you're going to repeat the text in your smart plan. Dynamic is set up for multiple text messages. So if you're going to have a series of text messages, you'll do dynamic. So I'm just going to keep it as static. This may be the first time they're getting a text from my Twilio number, and keep in mind that with Twilio, it's a different phone number than your usual cell phone number. So you want to let people know who you are. So you probably want to start it off by like saying, hey, it's, you know, Drew Carlyle with Keller Williams. May even want to say something like, this is my text number or something like that. And then just say, you know, just checking in to see if you are still looking to buy a home in the near future, whatever you want to say. So put that in, spell your name correctly, unlike me.
Drew, I think you can click on the F over to the right-hand side.
Right. So you wanted to
find
say
your name.
hey, and then you can do merge field. So say hey, you know, contact their first name. So it'll say, hey, Joe, Jim, whoever the person's name is. And then like what Renee is saying is that instead of putting my name in, you can put in different merge fields. So I could say it's agent first name, agent last name. So it's Drew Carlyle with Keller Williams. This is my text phone number. Just checking in to see if you're looking to buy a home. So I'll just send out a text as simple as that. Another way you can do it is just send a text and then underneath it, put in like your auto signature, right? So then same thing, we would set another delay after this text, maybe for another 7 days. And then maybe this time we're gonna send them an email, all right? So now we have the option to send an email. Like Renee said, you can do a simple text email, or you can do a more fancy HTML type email where you can actually browse your library for email templates. So if you recall where we've gone through designs, you can create all kinds of different designs. You could create a design and then save it as an email template and then put that right in there instead of having to type a simple text email. Here, you know, once again, subject line, are you still looking to buy a home? And then once again, you can say, hey, same thing, you can hit the little merge field, select like the contact's first name. Hey, so-and-so, are you still interested in buying a home, right? Whatever you want to write. You can put in your auto signature. I'm trying to remember in the merge fields. It's mainly just kind of contact
Yeah, the email is very limited on the
Right.
merge feed.
I can copy and paste my auto signature, whatever you want to put in there. So basically, we've done like these 3 steps. We're going to call, we're going to text, and email. Then what you can do, which is pretty cool, is if you want to keep this on a repeat that you every week either call, text, email, you could actually click restart flow, and it'll start back to the first step of the plan and repeat those steps again over and over again until you took them off the plan. The other cool thing that you can do is add them to another smart plan. So maybe once this plan ends, then I could add them to one of my other smart plans, and I could say, okay, after this, I want to just put them on a midterm nurture or a quarterly call plan. So I could select one of those. So as soon as this thing ends, then they're going to go on my quarterly call plan, and I'll just check in with them once a quarter, right? So basically, you create that custom plan. I'm going to go ahead and save it. So now it's saved. And then if you want to, right as you're in here, you can go ahead and add contacts to the plan. So I could search by tags, for instance. So maybe I want to put all of my buyers on this plan. So I'd select all of my buyers and say, so basically when I click that tag, it brings up all of my buyers. So I could say, select all of them. So there's going to be, well, this is weird. It says only about 20 people. So maybe that's the max that you can select at one time. But that is one way to do it. And then I click add to smart plan. And as soon as I do that, since the first step's to make a phone call, if I went ahead and added that right now, when I went over to my task, I'd have 20 tasks to call all 20 of those people. Make sense? So then what I can do is, now that I've created this follow-up for buyers plan, I can go in and add contacts. I can copy this plan. If I want to make a new plan that's going to be very similar, and maybe just change a little bit of the contents, or add a step or take out a step. Or I can edit this plan if I want to add something, take something out, once again, change the text, anything like that. So once you create a smart plan, or even in some of the smart plans that KW has already created, you can go in and edit some of the steps. So for instance, on my 8x8 new contact plan, if I go in there to edit it, and hopefully this will be faster than Renee's computer. There we go.
Yay.
So like the first step of this is the pre-can KW developed 8x8 smart plan. And the very first text that goes out is, hey, contact first name, last name. It's Drew Carlyle with our home team. Would love to meet up sometime and discuss your real estate needs. Let me know what your schedule looks like in the next few days. I think originally that text said, let's plan a time to go meet and have coffee. Well, dirty little secret, I don't drink coffee, don't like coffee, don't like going to Starbucks. So I changed the text to say this, hey, let's meet up sometime and talk about your needs, but not talking about going to get coffee, right? So you can basically change up the text. You could change the number of days in between duration from 7 days. Oh, well, here's the let's go coffee email. So if I don't want that email, then I could, change that. So you can go in and edit even the pre-canned smart plans that they've developed. All right.
A quick note on that, Drew, is that once you put people on the smart plan, you cannot edit it. You can copy it and then edit that, but
Right. Yeah, good point, Renee. So yeah, if you have even a single contact running on that smart plan currently, then you can't edit it midstream. So make sure before you start putting people on these plans that you like the content of each one of these steps. So go through these steps and make sure, if you don't want to let's grab coffee, then go in there and change that to something else, like let's go grab lunch, instead of a coffee or something like that. So whatever you want to do, make sure you edit them before you put people on that particular smart plan. So we've talked about the neighborhood nurture plans and the biweekly neighborhood nurture plans. There's an open house follow-up plan. So whenever somebody comes to your open house, you know, either I've talked about this before, that instead of, you know, the traditional, hey, fill out this form at your open house with their name and phone number and email address, you can actually have a landing page set up for the open house and get people to fill out their name and email address and phone number on the landing page for the open house. Then their contact information automatically goes into the system, so that you know, takes out that whole step of you know, you have your open house sign-in sheet and you can't read a person's name, you can't read their phone number, their email address. I know that's happened to me a ton of times where the people jot something down and you can't even read it. And you're like, is that a 1 or an L or a 0 or an O? So, you know, get them to register on a tablet or a computer at the open house. Then it captures their info. So as soon as the open house is over, you can go in your database and look at your new leads or new contacts from registration forms for the day, select all of them. You know, you could do a bulk email. Like, for instance, I could go to contacts and I could do, say, like a smart view and say, okay, every contact that was created within, you know, let's say the last 5 days. And so I've got, you know, let's say 5 people here, and select them all, put them on a bulk action. And then the bulk action is to add to a smart plan. And then I just select the open house follow-up plan. And so now those 5 people that came to my open house are now on this open house smart plan, where they're automatically getting text and emails from me. And I've got reminders to follow up with them in my task list to call them. So does everybody follow that? Any questions on any of that?
That's really cool. I created it was a very lengthy smart plan to follow up with all the Facebook lead ads that I got from the ads that I did last class. And I went to go bulk add them, and it gave me choices whether to add them all right there, or I could add them, you know, I could schedule to add them. Or it also, this was cool, this is the first time I saw this, it asked me if I wanted to add them and like rolling over the next few days. So I basically split them up into six people for the next 3 days, because there was 18 people. And that made sense to me because, you know, I didn't want to have to follow up with 18 people all at once. What if they all tried to contact me at once? So I thought six was a good number.
Right. So let's see, let me just run kind of a different scenario. Let's see if I put everybody I've put in my database for the last 30 days, and that's 70 people. So let's say I want to bulk assign, you know, all of these people to a smart plan, and whatever it may be, let's say it's a new 8x8, and I select that. When you select any of the smart plans, you'll see a thing here, and you've got a couple of different options. So instead of putting a ton of people on the same plan where it all lands on the same day, that you've got to call 50 people in one day, or text 50 people, or email 50 people in one day, if you're doing it more manually instead of just an automatic thing like we've been setting up. If you click start all now, then everybody every like 7 days or whatever will be all at the same time. But what you can do is, first off, you can stagger for a date besides today. You can push it out a few days. Or
Drew, is your screen's not on?
Oh, am I not sharing my screen again?
Yep.
I didn't realize that had come off.
Yep.
Let me bring that back over. Okay.
Yep, there we go.
Down?
Yep.
Yeah. So here, let me repeat that because I thought I had the screen on the whole time. Yeah. So I've pulled up, let's say, a group of people, and I've got 50 people here on my screen, and I can select a bulk action, right, and add all 50 people to a smart plan at once. And so, as I was saying, let's say I want to put them on the 8x8 smart plan, right? Well, you have three options. You could either start all 50 people on that plan now, which means every 7 days you'd have 50 tasks to complete, right? Which would be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
You do have an option that you can delay start a plan, so it doesn't have to start today. You could push it out a few days or a week. Or what Renee was talking about is what's called a stagger start plan over the next few days. So in this situation, I've selected 50 people to be added to this plan, right? And so if I'd say, all right, I want a maximum of whoops, I got to select thing, a maximum of 5 people a day, right? That means for the next 10 days, there'll be 5 people I got to call today, 5 people I call tomorrow, 5 people I call the next day, and it'll go for the next 10 days. 50 divided by 5 is 10 days, right? And so then I'm not overwhelmed with trying to call 50 people at once. And then when the next step in the smart plan, let's say a week from now, is that I need to manually text or call all these 50 people. Once again, it's not all 50 people on one day. It'll be 5 people this day, 5 people the next day, so on and so forth. So they have this stagger start on these smart plans. I hope that makes sense to everybody. All right. Before we move on, I'm just going to look at the chat and see if there's anything we can address here. So Chuck asked, where do you find the texting cell number I can give to people so they have a heads up on it? So I imagine, Chuck, that you're referring to the Twilio phone number. So we've gone through, our very first session was that in settings, you can set up your Twilio, but once you set up your account with Twilio, you can pay $1 a month to have a local phone number, because if you just set up Twilio, you're going to have, I think it's a 510 area code, which is in Texas. And obviously you don't want to text people from a Texas area code. So you can pay $1 a month and get a local area code. So you can text people from 727 number, but obviously it's not going to be your phone number. A lot of people ask, well, can I use my phone number? Unfortunately, the answer is no. So in any case, but the best way to, when you set that up, you say, hey, I want a local phone number. And when you do that, it's been a really long time, but if I recall correctly, they'll give you like 5 different numbers you can choose from, like 727-555-0123 or 555-0124. So you can select what phone number you want. So you're going to know when you sign up in Twilio what your phone number is going to be. So yeah, if you want to give people a heads up, maybe you send them a text or an email and say, hey, every now and then I'm going to be sending you a text from this other number, and just want to give you a heads up, or go ahead and save it in your phone. This is my other number. Unfortunately, if they try to respond to the text, you're going to get a notification, the little red bell here, that somebody has texted you. And on your Kelly app, you know how you get notifications on your phone through the Kelly app that somebody texted you back. However, if they try to call, it's kind of like a non-working number, and people get a message. So just make it clear that on these texts that they're not going to be able to call back. Lisa asked, do you have a recommendation for getting info electronically at an open house instead of a sign-in sheet? Yeah, that's what I was just talking about earlier, where you could create a landing page, and we've gone over that for that property. And so you create a landing page with all the info about the home, and then at the bottom is a registration form or a lead form, whatever you want to call it. And so basically, while you're at the open house and somebody comes in, you hand them a tablet or your computer and say, hey, will you please register here on my tablet? And so they put in their name, email address, phone number, and when they hit save, it automatically creates a contact in Command, which, like I said, later on, after the open house, you can select all the people who registered at the open house and put them on that open house smart plan. I hope that makes sense. All right.
So yeah, Chuck was asking, he's pretty sure he signed up for the number, but doesn't know what it is. So where do I find that? And I was just thinking, how could we, let our people know, give them a little heads up. You could make a smart plan by sending out an email with your new text number or your text only number on it.
Right. Yeah. So you could once again go to Smart Plans, create a new plan, and call it, I don't know, Twilio plan, right? And maybe the first step is that you send them an email, tell them about text messages, and just say, hey, blah blah blah. I'm not going to type it all out. Something to the extent of, hey, I've got this other number I use for texting. You'll probably get text from me from time to time from this number. Save it in your phone. But of course, always, if you ever want to talk to me, please call me at my mobile number, blah, blah, blah. So you can send them, and then you could even say in this message, the email, and say, I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow with a text from this new number. And so then you could add another step to your plan, do a delay, right? Set delay just for one day. And then the next step, do a text message, and then write in the text message, hey, it's Chuck Anderson with Keller Williams. I hope you saw my email yesterday that this is my texting number, blah, blah, blah. Make sure if you haven't already, save it in your phone, and keep a lookout for great information coming from me in the future from this phone number. Make sense?
Yep. And then Chuck is asking if they can reply on text. And if so, will it be received on command? And yes, they can. And you'll see it when you go into their contact information, and you can reply to them through command using that same number. Right.
So I could go, so here, Chuck, here you are. I have you in my database. Oh, that's not good. I thought I had your phone number in here. A text straight from here where you could reply back. Let's see, I don't know, I got you on my phone. So, I could just do this as an example. Yep. You use the 917 number, I think. I hope so. So basically, I could click on Chuck's number here. You can actually text right from here. Just say, hey, Chuck, whatever, send this text. So I just sent him a text, and then Chuck can reply back to it. And what will happen is I'll get a notification on my in command that Chuck texted back, and I'll get, which I just did on my phone. I'll put it up to the camera here, if you can read it, is I just got a notification, well, you can't read it, that you got a new text from Charles Anderson. So I got that from my Kelly app on my phone just now. And
it takes a minute to show up there, but if you refresh it might.
Probably if I refresh,
here you go.
Got it. So I got a text back from Chuck that he received it.
And if you click on that, then you can answer him back.
Yeah, and then I can actually go right here where now we have a text chain going back and forth, right? And I can go right back here and say, great, now we're having a whole text conversation right here out of command.
Yeah, you can also attach a file there too, if you saw that little paper clip on there.
Yeah. So I could, if I wanted to, attach a photo or something like that, whatever that you'd want to send through a text. I mean, obviously you're not going to send a contract or something.
No.
Yeah, that's how it works. So any case, and then see here's the notifications. Here, I got a new text from Charles Anderson. saying he got it. All right. Yeah, we digress, right? So there's only a couple minutes left. So we talked about, and if you notice here, we've been going through what are called people plans the whole time, right? So these are plans specifically set to communicate with the people in our database, right? Whether it's calling, texting, email, and putting them on some sort of plan. Now, there's a couple other types of plans that they're developing. One is called referral plans, which will be really cool because what will happen, from what I understand, is that let's say you get a referral from an agent in California for a buyer, there'll be a plan here that will basically be kind of like an update plan between you and the other agent to keep them up to date on what's going on and with that referral, right? So they're building that out. So there's a spot here for that. There's opportunity plans. They're building those. And then lastly, listing plans. All right. Unfortunately, none of them are active just yet, right, Renee? Have you seen any of them?
Yeah, those are not active yet, just the people plans.
Right.
Another thing they have, I think my screen's working now, so if you want to send that back over to me.
Okay. All right. I'll stop sharing my screen here.
Okey-doke. All right, so I found all this. So notice at the top when you're creating a new smart plan, at the top it has this trigger. Right now it's just a trigger manually. Eventually we're going to get to the point where it'll be triggered based on, you know, a lead ad that comes in or maybe an open house sign up. So it might be triggered on an action or, you know, or triggered on, we put in a physical address. So something like that. I just wanted to show that too, that the growth of this is going to be huge.
Right. Yeah. So for now, the only trigger is if you add somebody to the smart plan, which is manual, right?
Exactly.
Like Renee said, as soon as you put in somebody's address, it'll automatically put them on the monthly neighborhood plan. Or as soon as you put in somebody's birthday, it automatically puts them right on the birthday plan, right? Mm-hmm. Or as soon as you put in a home anniversary, it puts them on the home anniversary plan. So that'll be really cool in the future that you won't even it's just like set it and forget it. So every time you add a new contact in your database and you have their birthday, whenever their birthday is, you're just going to automatically get a task one day. Hey, send out a birthday card. Their birthday's coming up in 5 days. And, you know, the day before, send them an email wishing them a happy birthday. And then on the day of their birthday, another thing saying, hey, go onto their Facebook page and wish them a happy birthday on Facebook. So you could have a multi-step plan just around somebody's birthday that you don't even have to think about it. You literally, every time you add a birthday in, you know, get that. And to that point, I was watching a video, I think it was Nick Baldwin the other day, saying that, hey, I know a lot of you probably don't have your clients' birthdays in the database. So why not set up a smart plan just with a one-off maybe email saying, hey, I was just looking, you know, through my database or looking through my records and realized I don't know when your birthday is. Do you mind letting me know? And so then, and then you could even set it up on a plan where it sends them an email, and then for everybody that you get a birthday, you know, response, so you know their birthday, you could delete those people off the plan, but anybody who didn't respond, it automatically, like a week later or so, says, hey, I didn't hear back from you yet. I'd really love to know when your birthday is. I don't even care about when you were born, but just, you know, the month and the day, you know, kind of joke around about it and send them a text or another email. So that'd be a really cool little thing that you could do, build a custom smart plan to capture people's birthdays.
Right. So let me try and finish this one up really quickly, because I think this one's really powerful, to kind of introduce your current customers and contacts on this neighborhood nurture. So what we have here, I was able to copy over the text or for the email, And it's just hi, contact, first name. I use the, what is this again, Drew? I keep forgetting the name of it.
I mean, I just call it, field.
The field. Yeah, that's it. Okay. The auto field. So this one just says, hope you're doing well. Wanted to reach out because I've got a great feature where I can send you real estate market updates on your actual neighborhood, not just your zip code. I'll only send these out once a month, so I know you'll really appreciate the hyper-local information, blah, blah, blah. So, and you can, change it up, do whatever you need to do. Down here, here's an app where you can put in your app link. Well, this featured the field. Oh, great. Yeah. Okay, never mind. It's not working like it was earlier.
App link,
right? Yeah. So the field fill-in up here doesn't have your app link. So what you would do, you would just save here, merge field. That's what it's called. You would just save it and then come over here to your consumer. Yeah. It's not going to let me do a thing. Oh, well. So, yeah, you would just come over to your consumer app over here. And what we're going to do is look at, there we go, agent site pages up here at the top.
This is under the consumer tab.
That's correct. It's the last one down at the bottom there. I'll have to do another Loom recording and post it.
Right. I'm here at the office too. I'm not having any problems, Renee.
I don't understand why.
Everybody's glad to clear their cache and cookies.
That's it. I didn't do that. I usually do.
No.
So that was not correct. I'm going to go over here to site and app settings. Going. And then we're going to look for URLs, and that's where you find your app link, usually quickly.
And while she's doing that, we only have a minute or two left here, guys. So if you have any last minute questions, type them in here and we'll try to answer them really quickly.
Any questions, anybody? Got one.
This is not wanting to work today there, Renee.
I know. I don't understand. Thanks, Lisa. I'm glad that you got some value out of it. Oh, so Chuck's asking if he just calls Twilio to change the 516. You have to open up an issue or whatever they call it.
Yeah, tech support ticket.
Yeah. Open up a ticket. Thank you. I can't think today. Got me all kerfuffled. Yeah. So you just go onto their website and open up a ticket, and that'll do it. You just put in your request that you would prefer to use a local area code, and they'll get back with you.
Right. And just let them know that you've signed up for a local number and to activate it in command for you. So there is that step to it. So just as a reminder, as we're parting here, next week is going to be session 10, and I'll be back teaching that. We're going to go over the reporting tools and the goals in command, which is really cool. So before that class, if you've already done your numbers or have done the economic model before out of the MREA book, and you know what your net income, gross income for the year, and all of those types of numbers, we can put that in command so you can track your goals and different reports that you can run in command for that. And then the following week is we're going to talk about the referral network and how you can build your referral network and start receiving referrals from other agents around the country, and who to target and how to target them. All right. And then the final part, 12th part of our series, Renee is going to wrap up with the Keller Williams app, and we're going to talk about that, and also about Command Marketplace, where you can purchase add-ons to Command to do other things that they haven't built for us yet. We've partnered with some great tech companies that have different things in the marketplace that you can link to, so through the Command system. And then Renee and I talked about that once this series in, we've got an extra week before we're going to start all over again with 1.0 again. So we're going to have an open Q&A. So just a couple of weeks from now, actually about a month from now, we're going to have an open Q&A. So, think about your questions, and we'll probably spend a good hour, if not longer, hour and a half, just answering your questions, showing you how to do anything specific in Command that you still have lingering questions on through this series. But just as a reminder, if you've missed any of these, Renee is posting all of the classes on the Chadwick Group YouTube channel. So you can always rewatch these again if we've gone too fast and do all that. All right, Renee.
All right.
Words?
I think we're good.
All right,
sorry about the technical difficulties that happen sometimes. All right. Thank you, everybody.
All righty.
See ya.